he's got a higher IQ than any man alive. And number 3, he's gonna fix everything.
Idiocracy, the 2006 cult classic, is as hilarious as it is terrifying. Society spirals into absurdity, and the smallest details hide some of the funniest and weirdest Easter eggs. Today, we're diving into 50 hidden gems that most viewers completely missed. Get ready to spot the ridiculous. The idea originally came from Disneyland. Walking around Disneyland, Mike Judge couldn't help but notice families juggling armfuls of fast food, kids screaming over soda, and tourists glued to mindless entertainment. He looked around and thought, what if dumb people eventually outbreed the smart ones? And that's where the idea for Idiocracy was born. The president character was originally AI. Before Terry Crews was cast, the concept for the president in the film involved an artificial intelligence. There was only one problem with that: it wasn't funny enough. Changing the character to a live-action figure allowed for more personality and over-the-top humor. The original title was very different. The movie was first titled 3001, but it was later changed to Idiocracy. The new title cleverly combines the words idiot and democracy, instantly hinting at what the film is all about. With just one word, it captures the absurd idea of a society run by foolishness, setting the stage for the movie's over-the-top satire. Hank Hill appears in the family tree. A photo of Hank Hill, the famous character from Mike Judge's King of the Hill, appears in the family tree during the opening credits. It's a tiny Easter egg that connects Judge's two worlds in a clever way. Most viewers probably didn't notice it the first time, but it's a perfect example of the little jokes hidden throughout the movie that make re-watching so rewarding. The studio didn't know how to market the movie. Fox struggled to promote Idiocracy, unsure whether to highlight its humor, satire, or absurdity. This confusion contributed to its initial box office underperformance. Despite the film's cleverness, it was a total flop with audiences at first. Google becomes a porn site. In Idiocracy, the once famous search engine Google has transformed into a porn website. This exaggerated change satirizes how corporations and technology could evolve in absurd ways over time. It's a subtle detail that highlights the film's darkly comedic take on society's decline. Fuddruckers is renamed Buttfuckers. In Idiocracy, the burger chain Fuddruckers is hilariously rebranded as Buttfuckers. This crude joke exaggerates the film's satirical take on how familiar brands would change in a ridiculous future. It's a tiny detail that many viewers likely miss, but it perfectly fits the movie's absurd humor. Mike Judge makes a cameo as a prison inmate. The film's director, Mike Judge, appears briefly as a prison inmate, a fun Easter egg for fans. This cameo shows his hands-on involvement and adds a subtle layer of humor for viewers paying close attention. Luke Wilson was cast after Ben Stiller turned it down. Originally, Ben Stiller was considered for the role of Joe Bowers, but he was unavailable. Luke Wilson stepped in, bringing the perfect everyman quality to the character. His performance grounds the film's absurd world and makes the satire even funnier. Costco becomes a law school.
Yeah, I know this place is pretty good. I went to law school here.
In Costco?
Yeah.
In the world of Idiocracy, even big box stores have expanded into absurd territory. Costco is so massive that it includes its own law school among other things, poking fun at corporate sprawl and the commercialization of education. It's a blink and you'll miss it detail that adds to the film's satirical world building. Brondo was inspired by a real energy drink. The fictional drink Brondo, which everyone in the movie obsesses over, was inspired by the real-life energy drink Balls. This connection makes the satire even funnier, showing how consumer culture can turn anything into a craze. Most viewers don't notice this nod to real-world trends at first glance. Terry Crews auditioned 5 times for President Camacho. Before landing the role of President Camacho, Terry Crews had to audition multiple times before he could convince Mike Judge to give him the role. His over-the-top performance perfectly captures the character's flamboyant and ridiculous personality. This dedication adds depth to one of the film's most memorable and hilarious characters. Crews held a press conference as Camacho at SXSW. To boost interest in the film, Terry Crews appeared in character as President Camacho at SXSW. This stunt highlighted the film's absurdity and showcased Crews' commitment to the role.
I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
But Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
Brondo's slogan. The drink Brondo is marketed with the ridiculous slogan, "It's got what plants crave." This line satirizes mindless advertising and corporate influence, showing how even essential things like agriculture can be ruined by blindly following trends. It's a small but memorable joke in the movie's world. A DeLorean appears during a prison scene. During a prison escape, a rusty DeLorean from Back to the Future can be spotted in the background. This tiny Easter egg is a fun nod to time travel movies and showcases the filmmaker's love for hidden jokes. Many viewers probably miss it entirely on first viewing. An error with the movie's title may have led to even fewer audiences. According to Dax Shepard, who played Frito, even people who wanted to see Idiocracy couldn't always find it. On sites like Fandango, the movie was listed as Untitled Mike Judge Comedy instead of its real title. Shepard later admitted this mistake probably cost the film what little audience it might have had when it just released. Starbucks becomes exotic. In the movie's future, Starbucks is no longer just a coffee chain, it's transformed into an exotic boutique where the menu is extended far past just coffees, if you know what I mean. This funny change satirizes the commercialization and overbranding of everyday businesses. It's a subtle detail that adds depth to the film's absurd vision of society. Luke Wilson's brother plays his would-be killer. In Idiocracy, Joe Bowers narrowly escapes being killed by a prison guard. That guard is played by Andrew Wilson, Luke Wilson's real-life brother. It's a fun hidden family connection that most viewers never catch. Nestia's parody on itself. In the film's future, the iced tea brand Nestea is humorously reimagined as Nasty. This small change pokes fun at corporate branding and how products can be exaggerated or distorted over time. It's a clever detail that adds to the movie's satirical look at consumer culture.
Carl's Jr. Fuck you. I'm eating.
Carl's Jr. has a new, exaggerated look. In Idiocracy, Carl's Jr. is given a wild, over-the-top redesign in the future. This visual gag satirizes how brands will become absurdly commercialized and flashy over time. It's a subtle detail that reinforces the film's critique of consumer culture. The crew killed grass to simulate a dead future. During filming in Texas, where the environment was pretty green, the production team had to destroy a lot of grass to create the appearance of a drought. This behind-the-scenes effort shows the lengths the filmmakers went to make the dystopian setting believable. The opening narration explains society's decline.
It's not something you want to rush into, obviously.
No way.
Oh shit, I'm pregnant again!
I got too many damn kids.
At the start of Idiocracy, the film explains how evolution doesn't necessarily reward intelligence. This narration sets the tone for the movie's satirical look at a future where foolishness dominates. It cleverly frames the absurd events that follow, giving context to the world viewers are about to enter. El Pollo Loco becomes El Pollo Borracho. In the film, the restaurant El Pollo Loco is renamed El Pollo Borracho, which means the drunken chicken. This funny rebranding highlights the absurdity of the future society and adds to the movie's clever brand-based jokes. Most viewers might easily miss this subtle, humorous detail. Clothes in the future don't have buttons or zippers. In Idiocracy, every costume was designed without buttons or zippers. The choice was intentional, suggesting that society had devolved to the point where people couldn't even handle basic fasteners. It's a small detail that perfectly reinforces the film's vision of a dumbed-down future. Idiocracy was a true box office flop. With a production budget of around $2.4 million, Idiocracy was barely promoted and opened in just 130 theaters across 7 cities. The movie only managed $495,000 worldwide, failing to even make back its small budget. Despite this flop, the film slowly gained cult classic status on DVD and streaming. The movie had disastrous test screenings before release. In March 2005, Idiocracy was screened for test audiences, and the reactions were so negative that 20th Century Fox ordered reshoots and delayed its release. The main problem was that test audiences just didn't get the jokes. Idiocracy wasn't funny enough. These poor screenings contributed to Fox's decision to give it a very limited theatrical release, no trailers, and almost no marketing. TGI Fridays turns into a SEX restaurant. In Idiocracy, TGI Fridays is transformed into a sexualized restaurant, exaggerating the film's satirical take on society's obsession with pleasure and commercialization. It's a small, shocking detail that many viewers might not notice, but it perfectly fits the movie's ridiculous future world. Screenwriter Ethan Cohen was hired thanks to farts. Ethan Cohen was chosen to help write Idiocracy after a humorous exchange about flatulence showcased his comedic sensibilities. This unusual story perfectly matches the film's irreverent tone. The movie was primarily filmed in Texas. Idiocracy was shot mainly in Texas using local landscapes and sets to create its dystopian future. The choice of location helped make the barren, exaggerated world feel authentic while keeping production practical on a limited budget. Practical effects were used for the futuristic setting. Instead of relying heavily on CGI, the filmmakers used practical effects to bring the absurd future world to life. This hands-on approach added realism to the satire and made the bizarre environments feel more tangible for viewers. Home Depot is called Home Depot. In the movie's future, Home Depot is humorously renamed Home Depot. This playful twist mocks consumer culture and shows how familiar brands could become ridiculous over time. It's a small detail that adds depth to the film's satirical world. The film received mixed reviews initially. When it was released, Idiocracy got a range of reviews, with some critics missing the humor or satire. Over time, however, it gained a cult following as audiences began to appreciate its sharp commentary on society and consumer culture. Even critics later praised it as prophetic. Idiocracy wasn't released on Blu-ray until 2012. Even though the movie came out in 2006, fans had to wait 6 years to get a Blu-ray release. Fox initially showed little interest in giving it a proper home release, which only added to the film's reputation as a buried project that slowly grew into a cult favorite. Fox refused to promote the film's release. The studio didn't put much effort into marketing Idiocracy, leaving it to struggle at the box office. In fact, they released it with no promotion at all, and it was only playing in 130 theaters, making it almost invisible. This hands-off approach is part of why the film only became famous much later as a cult classic. Crocs were used because they looked too stupid to ever catch on. In Idiocracy, characters wear Crocs as the shoe of the future because the director thought they looked too stupid to actually become popular, but that turned out to be very wrong. Within a couple of years, Crocs exploded into mainstream fashion. Suddenly, the dumb shoes of the future were everywhere, from kids to doctors to even celebrities. FedEx is renamed. In the film's future, the delivery company FedEx is humorously rebranded as FedEx XX. This small change pokes fun at ridiculous writing and exaggeration mostly under younger generations. It's a clever detail that adds to the movie's satirical world, and many viewers might not notice it on a first watch. Fans have created theories about the movie. Over the years, viewers have developed various fan theories about Idiocracy, exploring its hidden meanings and connections to real-world issues. These interpretations show how the film's satire continues to spark discussion and analysis. Fox is the only logo that doesn't change. Throughout the chaotic future world, nearly every brand logo is altered, except for Fox. This subtle detail points to media dominance and shows how some corporations remain untouchable, even in absurd times. Fans have made Brondo a reality. Inspired by the movie, fans and entrepreneurs have created drinks and merchandise modeled after Brondo. This real-world adoption shows the lasting cultural impact of the film's most ridiculous invention. Idiocracy commented on its own box office failure. The movie cleverly pokes fun at its poor theatrical performance, almost predicting its cult status years later. This self-awareness adds a meta layer to the satire, showing the film doesn't take itself too seriously either. Upgrade is played by rapper Scarface. The character Upgrade, a tough and intimidating figure, is portrayed by rapper Scarface. His casting adds unexpected depth and humor, giving the character a memorable presence in the movie's absurd society. The Great Garbage Avalanche of 2505 covers the world in filth. In the film's future, mountains of trash have overtaken the planet, showing the extreme consequences of neglecting the environment. This ridiculous exaggeration highlights the movie's satirical take on overconsumption and waste. It's both funny and terrifying to imagine. Office Space cast members' cameos. Mike Judge slipped in some familiar faces from Office Space into Idiocracy. Stephen Root, who played Milton in Office Space, shows up as a judge in the future. And Greg Pitts, who played the infamous co-worker Drew, appears as one of the police officers. It's a fun Easter egg for fans of Judge's earlier cult hit. Home video sales boosted its popularity. Although Idiocracy had a modest theatrical run, home video and DVD sales helped the film reach a much wider audience. This contributed significantly to its cult status, allowing more viewers to discover and appreciate its satirical humor. Idiocracy is prophetic in many ways. Over the years, viewers have noticed that Idiocracy predicted several societal trends, from brand absurdities to political commentary. This makes the movie feel eerily relevant and contributes to its cult following. It's also part of the reason why Mike Judge refers to it as a documentary nowadays instead of a comedy. Some of the fun graphic elements weren't scripted. Many of the visual gags, signs, and graphic details in the film were improvised on set. These spontaneous additions give the world a chaotic, lived-in feel and add to the movie's offbeat humor. Judge was surprised that companies allowed their names to be used in the film. Mike Judge didn't expect big brands to approve the use of their logos and names in such a satirical, absurd context. Their cooperation allowed the film to exaggerate corporate culture in hilarious ways. The soundtrack mixes different genres. Idiocracy features a soundtrack that blends various musical styles, reflecting the chaotic and absurd world of the film. The diverse music choices enhance the satirical tone and help immerse viewers in the movie's exaggerated future society. President Camacho and anti-Trump ads. Mike Judge once considered making political ads featuring President Camacho that poked fun at Donald Trump. The idea was eventually scrapped, but it showed how the film's satire is still applicable today. Extras made the movie's prophecy immediately true on set. Judge told the extras to just play really dumb cartoon characters, and let me tell you, that is what they did. It started off carefully with dumb face expressions, to then eating out of their nose, up until the point where some started dry humping the furniture on set. That's when the producers had to tell them to tone it down a little bit before whole scenes needed to get censored. Idiocracy might have been written off as weird at the time, but the years prove it's smarter than it looks. What's your favorite joke or gag in the movie? Tell us in the comments, and if you want more deep dives like this, hit like and subscribe for more videos.